everybody, welcome to Caketastic Cakes. It's Jen and I'm going to show you how to make this cute little elephant out of gum paste or clay. Now before we begin, if you guys need any tools or supplies that you see me use or you don't have, then you want to have, I have a list of links below in the description that you can check out so you can order anything you see here. Okay, to begin, this person who ordered this elephant, she's ordered from me for many years now for her daughter's birthday. And she wanted the decorations to be made out of clay. Polymer clay is what I'm using here instead of gum paste. But it pretty much works the same way. If you are going to make it out of clay, make sure you skip almost to the end of the video. You're going to see a picture of two elephants next to each other to hear what I have to say there before you make this. Otherwise, if you're doing this out of gum paste, you can just get going. All right, so I made a body kind of a little bit more of a oval than a circle. And the legs, as you can see, I flattened off one end, rounded off another, and then cut it at an angle so that it's wider at the bottom, fatter at the bottom, and skinnier at the top. And pressed them on to make the little front legs. You see? Just like that, because I'm just having a cute little elephant sitting there. Make sure it's all nice and smooth. Make sure it's all stuck together. And then go to the back legs. The back legs, I took a circle, kind of rolled it sort of flat, as you can see, not too flat. I'm going to cut it at an angle a little bit and round it a little bit, but not all the way. That's going to be kind of like the back knee part of the elephant's back leg. You see, I'm kind of tucking it under its rump there, a little bit toward the back, and then I'm going to have its little feet sticking out in the front to the side more, okay? So there's the circle again, kind of flattening it out. Not all the way, like I said, just a little bit. Tapering it off a little bit, and then I'm going to cut it not quite in half, a little bit more, match it up, make sure they're about the same size, and then press it on more toward the back. Again, this is clay, so normally I'd be using water to stick it together if it's gum paste. But polymer clay sticks very nicely to itself as long as you haven't baked any of it yet. The back leg, as you saw, is just kind of like a stump, like a Tootsie Roll or whatever. Cut it slightly at an angle again so that the feet, when they stick out, they kind of go more toward the front. This is going to become the head, and if you're doing gum paste, this works the same way. I would have a lollipop stick stuck through the body right now if I was going to be doing this out of gum paste. For the polymer clay, I'm using wire. I use floral wire. It works well. You can bake it and everything. There's no problem there. To make the trunk, I just, as you saw, twisted off one end of the circle between my hands just till it got long enough and thin enough, and I liked it. And then I cut the end off so it's all nice and tidy looking. And as long as it curves up and holds its pose, that makes me happy. Again, if you're going to use gum paste out of this, it might, you shouldn't have a problem with the trunk going up in the air. If it gets a little bit soft so it starts to fall when you put it wherever you put it to harden or let it dry. If you put the nose up and lean it against like the wall or an edge of a cabinet or even a book or something, just to prop it up, that would work too. As you could see, I added two little black eyes and a little eyelash to it. I don't know where the footage went for that, but it was two balls and then a little thin piece coming out for the eyelash. And I'm giving this elephant little pink toes. Do whatever color you want. This person wanted pink toes. That's just what they wanted. So I rolled out some pink, nice and thin. I'm using a straw to make circles because that was a good size. And then I cut them almost in half to make a flat edge and line them up. I'm doing 4 toes on each foot. I debated doing 3, honestly, but the picture that the Pullman sent me that she wanted me to try to, design it off of had 4, so I stuck with it. A little thin piece for the tail on the back. There you go. Isn't that cute? A little tail there. And then I'm going to put the scarf on it. I've got the head on, I've got the feet and the toes. Now we're doing the decoration kind of parts. This scarf is just a strip of blue, as you see, and I'm folding the edge over on itself. I'm going to do that on either side. I do this when I make scarves. I just feel like it makes them look a little softer, a little less, I don't know, a little more like fabric, I guess, and less like just a piece of gum paste you wrapped around its neck. And it's the same color blue. I have another video out that is of snowflakes and number 8. So it's the same color blue as the number 8 that I had made because it's all matchy. You see how that works? And if you do need snowflakes or anything, it's a good video to check out just because it shows you how to make snowflakes without having a snowflake mold or anything. If you have flower molds, you'll be able to make snowflakes. So check it out if you need help with it. All right, so my scarf, I'm just doing some cross hatching on it just to give it more of a pattern. And I wrap it around its little neck. And again, if this was gum paste, I'd probably need to add some water to it to make it stick so it doesn't just fall off. Once I get the position where I like it, I'm going to take my knife blade, as you see here, and kind of rough up the edge to give it more little tassels, make it look more like a knitted or a crochet. Oh yeah, you don't crochet scarves, you knit scarves. A knit scarf. Do the same thing on the back, being careful not to slice into the elephant's body because that would be awful. All right, now I'm going to make the ears. I made some gray, rolled it out pretty thin but not too thin, and I made a nice circle out of it. I'm going to cut one edge off, you'll see in a second. But first I had to make sure it was the right size. And I'm going to cut the one end off, not all the way in half again, but kind of like 3/4 of it off. And then I tapered up the two edges, and then again I cut it kind of at an angle so it can sit against the elephant's head, and it'll sit a little bit nicer flush up against it. So I cut it at an angle right there. It was a little bit too long. So like I said, just trim it off, make it fit, make it work, however you need it to look good. And make sure when you do attach them that you have them kind of curved so they're perky ears. They're kind of facing out. They're not just flat against the head. If you need them to be flat against the head, then, do it. If you can't make them stick up because the gum paste is a little too soft or whatever, then do what you need to do. If you want them to stick up and they're not, and you're using gum paste, if you fold up some paper towels and just kind of prop them up behind the ears, that will help hold the shape until it hardens enough to sit on its own. Okie dokie, so there you go, got little ears, and then I realized, hey, I should put some pink in those ears. So I went back and I added some pink. And it took a little trial and error because it's always harder to add things when they're already stuck to the body of the elephant. And of course they're nice and thin, and you change the shape so it's not a true circle anymore. But you work it out, right? You make it work. So there you go. Got your pink ears. Now we're doing better. This kind of also reminds me of the cow cake I did. When the elephant, it doesn't have a lot of color going for it. So if you can introduce little spots of color to it, go for it. It makes it stand out more, makes it a little brighter. This is going to be the elephant's little snowy hat. It's just a white piece that I smushed down in the center on either side with my rolling pin. I just used the butt end of it. That's the term, the butt end of the rolling pin, to make it kind of more like the ruffle edge of a cap. I'm using my knife to just rough it up. Doing it on the top too. The bottom I don't care about because you're not going to see. It's going to be against the elephant's head. So once I get enough little chops in there, I'm going to stick it on its head. Now I'm going to take a piece of blue, not too big, not too small. I'm going to roll it against the countertop that I'm working on there so I have a flat edge to make the little cap part. Smush it on so it fits the white properly so it goes up to the edge but not quite over it, And then you're going to add the little pom-pom on top. I took a little ball of white, using my knife blade again. I'm just putting a whole bunch of lines in it, across the top and across the sides. Again, I'm not worried about the bottom because nobody's going to see it. It's going to be against the head. When you're happy with it, put it on top, smush it on into place, or use water if you're doing gum paste. And there you go. You got your cute little elephant all ready for your cake. Now, if you are going to do gum paste, she is going to be kind of heavy, so make sure that if you put it on a cake, it's supported. And if you are doing polymer clay, like this one actually is, check this out. Okay, how sad is this? This is my poor elephant when I baked it. I put it all together and I baked it, and I didn't consider that the skinny parts are going to get burnt. Well, the fat parts were just, it just didn't work out. So if you're going to make it out of polymer clay and you're going to bake it and you don't have much experience like me, learn from this, okay? Because how sad is this? If you're going to bake it, bake the body and the legs first for like 10 minutes maybe. Then add the head and the scarf, and then maybe for like 5 minutes bake it. Then add the ears and the tail and the hat and maybe another 5 minutes. So be careful, guys, okay? All right, back to the regular stuff now. Thank you for checking out my video. Please like and subscribe. I've got tons of other videos out there. And as always, thank you guys for watching Caketastic Cakes.